Hello, everyone. I remember about 6, 7 years ago, I met this guy named Dave. And I said, Dave, what are you passionate about? And he said, I want to bring people together to talk about data science, data engineering, machine learning engineering, and this whole data world. The first TMLS was a little bit rocky. I'm sure we'll hear about that later on today. But thank you, everyone, for coming out today, and thank you to the organizers for organizing this event. Today I want to talk about some of these 7 questions I ask myself on a regular basis. I'm Geoffrey. I'm a lead data scientist at Spothero. My passion is really about building data products. And to create these data products, I want people to use it at the end of the day, and I want this to be meaningful. And so I find that it's immensely beneficial. Like, imagine you arrive and you have everything you ever want to start on a problem. It's empowering, exhilarating, and it's big brain time. And so I asked myself, how can we maximize this big brain time on a regular basis? And the answer to that is with a problem statement. A problem statement is this self-contained, what the problem is essentially, and everything I need to do. And so how do we arrive at problem statements in a quick amount of time? So these are 7 questions I ask myself on a regular basis. Question 1, why though? Or more specifically, why is there an urgency to solve this problem today? I ask that question, and I also sometimes will ask the opposite question, what if we don't do anything today? And the answer to this question usually teases apart some of the values, like why is this thing important, overall timelines, like as in why today as opposed to later, and the overall priority, why should we shuffle stuff we're currently working on to make room for your problem? The second question I ask is, what is the size of the problem? Generally, the bigger the problem, the better, but bigger in terms of value, not so much in terms of complexity. And I really want to understand, is this really important? And when I ask this question, I typically get information around the target metric. This is the metric that feeds into the model. I get a better understanding of what the current state understanding is of this problem, and I also get to understand how people talk about the problem. This then leads into question 3, which is, how do we know this is a problem? Fun fact, this may offend everyone here, I never ask about data, especially in the early stages. I always ask about what do you do, how do you understand this is a problem, because the answer to that problem involves usually an explanation of the data, but also how people use it and the technologies and integrations and how they use it for feedback. We know we do X, we collect Y, and it leads to this. Question number 4 is one of my favorite ones. What is the definition of success? How do we know we're done? What is the definition of done? And typically, this is really important because it establishes overall, basically when we're going to be done. How do we know we're done? It establishes what the person who's asking me a question, what their understanding of deliverables are, and it helps us bring to better understanding. And then question 5 is, what are you currently doing to solve the problem today? Sometimes the answer is no, and sometimes the answer is convoluted. Well, we're trying this, and we're trying that, and we don't know about this, and we're trying to work with these people and whatnot. This is an important question because it gives me an idea of who the people are, the overall workflow and the integration of everyone around this, and more importantly, the decision-making involved. How are people currently thinking about the problem and solving it? Question 6 sets us up for question 7, and question 6 is, who's going to benefit from this solution, and hopefully why? This gives you an understanding of who the stakeholders are and the value drivers and the storytelling and overall the motivation. The people who are asking you for help, you want to know why is this going to be important to them and also to everyone else. And then that leads us to question 7. There we go. Which is, when are you available to work with us on this problem? This is an important one, especially with larger organizations, because sometimes people say, well, just solve this and get back to me, let us know when the solution's done. But really, I find that change management and ownership of a solution, there have been many times when I've developed a solution, handed it over to someone, and they're like, and they never use it. And so this kind of questioning allows us to tease this stuff apart. And so these are the 7 questions I ask on a regular basis. You may then say, well, what do you do after, or what happens if you don't have answers to all these questions? What do you commit to? I say, well, I commit to answering all these questions first, so that I have a good understanding of things. And then once I have answers to all these questions, then I commit to the next stage of development and stuff like that. So thank you very much. My name is Geoffrey Hunter. Thank you very much.